like I'm not getting any update. Can you hear me, Shankar or Sunita? Is my voice is audible to you? Okay. Yeah. Screen is visible, right? No problem. So today we'll talk about another very important topic in Selenium, and this session is very much useful even for interviews as well. So I think we covered almost all different varieties of basics and foundation related to the Selenium, starting from very beginning to the advanced level. We have covered many of these things related to Selenium. But I hope you are familiar with most of these things because it's all need is a little bit of practice. That's all, friends. So the question is now, today's session is all about this weights. This and this is one of the very important topic for interviews. People ask a lot of interview questions on this weight topic. Okay. So, and we didn't discuss this, we didn't cover this topic earlier in our previous sessions. So, what we do now is we will try to understand what are different types of weights. And but this topic is so simple and how to apply those weights in our application. Other than that, there is nothing much new we are going to see because all other things, whatever we discussed, whatever we are going to discuss today is is well known to all of us. So because we have discussed that, okay. But coming to the point, what is this weights and why do we need this weights? See, weight is something like, for example, you have observed in the code. So when we are writing this Selenium automation code, many times we have seen when we do this automation, for example, if you don't mention web element properly, no, if you don't locate web element properly, then it leads to an exception, what we call no such element exception, right? You remember that, I believe, friends. Did you remember that? Do you remember, friends, earlier, for some reason, if for some reason due to this web page loading delay or sometimes your code issue, we used to see this exception very frequently. What is that exception? No such element exception. For example, see this. So this is the web element in Amazon. We already had discussed this example as well, this use case as well. We are trying to do check for some automation. Do like in this Amazon website, we are trying to locate this search button, search box, and then enter some, pass some text and do some search and see if that automation is working or not. Right? That is what this Selenium is automation is all about. Suppose you see, friends, suppose here, this is just an example, just to show you how this, when this no such element exception is generated, is created or raised. So you see, instead of this text box, you are just passing null here. If you pass null means what? So we are not locating the that web element. We are simply passing means null in sense nothing. We are not able to locate the web element, but just saying that it is a null web element. Then run this, run this automation. Don't worry about what is there here today. This automation have a couple of new things, but it's fine, not a big issue. We'll try to get a clear picture on this automation by the end of this session without any trouble here. Okay, now run this and see. We put null there. Let us see if it gives us no such element or null pointer exception. Let's check it out. So we were here, but no problem. Definitely, we should expect an exception. So let's see that. Illegal argument exception. Okay. that is fine, no problem. So this is one kind of exception. We are not seeing this one. What we need is a no such element exception. So let us go to the automation. Of course, close this automation. So here I'm just only showing you. So when let's say Control Z. So here, suppose you do one thing, put button one. Let's test it. Or put search box one. Then in that case, you might see no such element exception. Okay, what do you do right now? Right click and then run this now. First, I am only trying to raise this, trigger this exception, friends. Later on, we'll talk about other things. Okay, this is fine till this. I got website. Once we enter some text, it will, now you can see here now. So what is this? Because in this automation code, you are trying to locate a search box whose ID is this search text box one. Right? Let me just show you. This is your website, Amazon website. Let me show you what is this, because without this you might not get a clear idea. So not to confuse you, what I'll do is see here, come to the Amazon, right? I close all this and this might confuse you. Yep, that should be fine. Yeah, that's perfect. Now you see here, this is the search box and this is the search button. When we click on this search, automatically it shows all available items for that search. Right now you can see you see here. Just observe this tag, that web tag to web element to locate this. See here, right click on this and then inspect. Now you can see here. This we did it number of times. Again, this is not needed. Okay, we do one thing. Let's close this. This is not needed. So use a fresh Chrome. That's better for us. So to test our automation and then just open the Amazon website. This is our this thing search box, and now right click on the search box and say inspect. So this is your this thing, your tag, HTML tag for this search box. Now you can see the ID, input type equal text ID. You can see which locates this search box. This is one of the locating attributes ID. So this is the one you can see here, two tab search text box. This is the ID we use to recognize or locate this search box. Now this is what we need to add in the code. We know this. This is what is supposed to be in the code. So this is exact ID which we should pass here to this web element, to this find element method, right? To locate this particular web element, which is search box. But what I did, I passed one here, search text box one. If you search with with this ID, I believe you don't find anything in this web page. No, none of the tags will be matched with that ID. Then automatically this element is not there. Then it try to, so what your Selenium do now, it will try to raise an exception saying no such element exception. Why? Because whatever the web element you are trying to locate and that attribute you are trying to pass, this attribute, whatever this is here, you are trying to pass doesn't exist. If this attribute doesn't exist, that means the that web element which you are trying to find is not identified, and means immediately what your Selenium do, it will try to raise no such element exception. I hope this is clear. Your Selenium will try to raise no such element exception, friends. I hope this is clear now. Are you clear with this? This is the quick idea. Quick idea about what, friends? Quick idea about why we get no such element exception. Right. So similarly, suppose you see here. So now you can just remove this one here. Let us make it good. Let us make it look good here, friends. That should be fine. Now that is okay. Next, after that, what? Suppose you see again same scenario. This one, this pattern helps us to locate that search button. Suppose instead of button, you put button one, that is not there. That particular attribute is not there. That path doesn't exist. Then automatically, if path doesn't exist, then that it cannot recognize that web element. Then it leads to no such element exception. So generally, this is something quite common happens in your Selenium automation. It is the very common thing that arises in your Selenium automation. So that's why that's why Selenium people after because doing a lot of research and everything, they come to this kind of I mean they come up with a new topic or concept to avoid these kind of things. Of course, one is code level issues that obviously try to raise no such element exception, but without any code level issues. So this is something quite common. If you have error or if you have some issue with your code and that code cannot locate web element, then raising no such element exception is one way, that is one thing. Okay, that is something what we have to fix in the code itself. That is fine. There is another thing. Sometimes what happens is you have this website, friends. So, and when you try to run the automation due to a network issue at your side or due to network issue at the website side or due to some other issue. So what happens? The page loading time might take some extra time. Instead of loading it immediately, it might take some 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds. So that page loading might take some time. And meanwhile, your automation doesn't wait until this page is loaded. Until this page is loaded, this doesn't wait. And if automation doesn't wait, automatically what happens before page loading, if automation is applied to that particular website or web page, it leads to no such element exception. Why? Because by the time you apply your automation, those web elements in that web page are not loaded. And if they are not loaded and you are applying to and you are asking your automation to locate them, you applying your locating strategies, obviously these strategies cannot recognize these attributes in your or these locating strategies don't work, which are declared in your automation code. That's why if you see that if your website is taking some time to load or if some other issue is there and you just want to apply some wait period on that, then we use this waiting concept in Selenium. And this is most popular concept which is applied in Selenium and very famous topic for interviews. People ask a lot of interview questions on this waits. I hope this is clear till this, friends. Are you clear till this? Right. So this is the clear idea about what is the concept of wait, why we need this wait is required. Why waits are required? Because as we have sometimes mismatch with this loading time of these websites or web pages. To overcome that issue, what is that? We apply waits in our Selenium automation. So generally when we have this page loading issues, then it leads to some certain exception called no such element exception. When you have this no such element, we have already seen that with code itself, we have verified, you can see here. So just now we try to do some a little this thing, little check on this. So we try to raise this exception, no such element exception. We have verified all this. So this exception is raised by us voluntarily. But while doing automation, due to this web page loading, due to the time taking by this web page loading, even in that case, all that web elements are not loaded into that web page, and still you are applying your automation and asking your locating strategies to recognize those, locate those web elements. But before loading, how can this web elements, this locating strategies can find them, find these web elements? It's not possible, right, friends? So then again, it leads to no such element exception. So these locating strategies, this find element, whatever the method you apply here, will locate such a web element only if that web element is loaded properly into that website. Else, it leads to an exception called no such element exception. So to avoid uh, loading time, to overcome this all this kind of issues, so we apply wait concept. I hope you are clear with what is this wait concept here. I hope, is that clear, friends? Wait is something which is needed to apply to overcome this page loading mismatch issues. So, and generally we have two types of waits. One is implicit wait, the another one is explicit wait, and third one is fluent wait. And today we are going to discuss about all these three different types of waits here. This is one of the very famous, I told you, right, friends? So one of the very important topic for interviews. Okay, right. So now what is implicit wait and explicit wait and fluent wait? So we have just ran a simple automation we have created. Implicit wait is simple, friends. So this is what a simple code statement or code snippet which we created just to apply implicit wait. Right. There is a quick question for all of you, friends. Question is simple. Suppose in this code, just observe this code because you are familiar with all this automation process and the tags and the code which we write and locating strategies we write every day by with that experience. I'm asking a quick question. How many web elements are we locating in this code? What's your answer? By looking at the code, you can easily apply. Just see that find element method, or by XPath automatically you understand, or by ID you understand how many web elements we are locating. In this code, how many web elements we are locating here, friends? You can answer in the chat box. Just rough answer. It's not like you should give a perfect answer, friends. Okay, 5 is from Shankar, 5 or 6. So fine. Let me just answer this. We have just three different web elements. One for this one. If you go to the website, this search box and this search button, and then one more is when we click on mouse, we are trying to locate a mouse among all the available mouses. The last mouse. We are trying to find out what is that thing about that mouse. So in this code, we are having three different web elements. Of course, same thing repeated. Again, that click of the search button is repeated one more time. Like that, if you see, we have four web elements. Now, implicit wait means this is something which is applied globally to all web elements in your automation code. What is implicit wait? Simple friends. You have some n number of elements in your web elements you are trying to locate in your Selenium automation code. Implicit wait is something when you declare this is applied to all web elements. Means when you say here, you can see driver.manager.timeout. This is so simple. See, to create it, we just try to apply this code, this methods on your driver class. On driver, you apply manage. You know, right? Driver.manage is used to do different operations, not just only to apply this weights. This is applied to apply maximize window and many things. And now, if you see, if you look at this code here, what is it here? Driver.manage.timeouts. We are just applying timeout. And that timeout is what implicit wait. Implicitly wait here. You can see here. On that we are applying implicitly wait. Means this is an implicit wait. And duration, what is the duration of this implicit wait here? 5 seconds. Means after loading your website, after triggering, you know, your website, we are asking that Selenium automation to wait for 5 seconds to load all those web elements before it go and try to locate the web elements in the web page. I hope this statement is clear, right? So this is implicit wait, and implicit wait is something which is applied to all web elements in one shot. It's not something specific, right? So means what? It's so simple. So we have this is one web element. Once that web page is loaded, that the Selenium automation waits for 5 seconds to load this web element. Suppose if you give 15, it will wait for 15 seconds to load this web element. Similarly, not only this, there is another web element here, which is nothing but search button. So even for this also, it will wait for 15 seconds. And after that, there is one more here. What is this mouse thing? So somewhere we can see this, we are trying to recognize mouse. This one you can see here. We are trying to recognize mouse. And here also it will try to wait for 15 more seconds. Means this wait period for all these web elements present in this Selenium automation is implicitly by 15 seconds. That is implicit wait. Implicit wait is something which is applied to all web elements in one shot. Then again, you come up with a question. Okay, this is fine. It's clear, Manoram. But how we can apply something specific to some web element, not to all web elements. I don't want to apply waiting time to all web elements, but I want to apply only waiting time for some specific web element. Then what should I do? Then this is implicit wait applied to all web elements. Explicit wait means what? Applied to only some specific element. Then you have to create explicit waits. That sample we have here. So this is all simple. See, if you want to apply some waiting time to all of your web elements to avoid that exceptions, no such element exception, then you can apply this wait here. Okay, so that is one thing, friends. Just a minute. So I hope that's clear. Second way is this is the one. So this is implicit wait. Tells WebDriver wait for specific time before throwing no such element exception. And this is applicable for all elements. You can see here. I hope this point should be very clear for you. Now we can test this automation. I have already applied this. We have all these different types of elements. Now I'm commenting this explicit wait just to test that implicit waiting alone. Later on, we can also enable this and test one by one. We'll get an idea one by one so that it's easy for you to understand the concept of this waiting thing. Somebody is trying to say something. Yeah, thanks for asking this question, Shankar. Yes. See, there are few things to apply. Of course, see here, whenever you are applying this weight here, so this particularly implicit weight, this has to be declared before you call your this thing. You can see here, call your website or web page, right? You can see we have applied this implicit weights before here, before this opening web page. You can see here our website before you call this website. Here, this is the place where you have to keep this. We have to place this code here. Where should we place this implicit weight before calling your website, so that what happens, this weight is applied to all that web elements that is there in the web page. I hope this is clear. Thanks, Shankar. This is a good question. So and everyone needs to know this, right? So this is the idea of what is it, implicit weight. So what we are doing, let's test it, friends. This is simple. See, all other things we know. Again, I'll talk about this scenario. This is one more quick scenario. This is something I would like to discuss with you, so that we will discuss something difference between find element. We are using it since the beginning of our Selenium sessions. Find elements we didn't discuss. So I just want to give you a quick difference between these two. So that's why this code snippet. If you want, we can keep this, or if you want, we can ignore this. This is something not in this specific this thing, but we can keep it, no problem. So this code snippet is just simply trying to get all mouses and then trying to click on the last mouse image. That's all. So we try to search for all mouses in the this image and website, and from those mouses we want to just click on the last mouse image and get the details of that mouse image. That is the this code snippet is doing. And here the idea is I want you to understand the difference between find element and find elements. That's why this code block is for. Okay, but for now we can continue with our implicit this thing. This also can be part of our weight testing, because this is something, this particular implicit weights can be applied to all web elements in a web page. So what you do now, that's why we declared this implicit weights before this web page. Here you can see here. So before even web page is triggered or called, we have applied this implicit weights here. You can see here, and this is the syntax. Just follow this. If you ask me what is this, we are not familiar with this means, you have to just use this driver.manage.timeouts. That say on the driver manage, we are calling timeouts here. And on that, you can see this is implicitly weight means that itself shows that this is an implicit weight. Now you should be very clear. And duration is something like, let us just see what is it. Is it a class or something, or enum? Sometimes it might be enum as well. Maybe let me just show you. We can just check on declarations. Yeah, let me try to open declaration otherwise. Duration is a class. It's a final class. Final instance, it cannot be inherited. Right, friends? So this duration class has a method here, of methods, where we can set time with this duration class, and that we pass to this implicitly wait method. Now, this is applicable for all web elements in the web page. I hope this is very clear till this, right, friends? I hope this should be clear till this. Now, let's run this automation. By default, your automation will wait for 15 seconds before your web elements are loaded, and then this locating strategies are applied, because we are saying that wait for 15 seconds, and then after 15 seconds we are asking our Selenium automation to look for these web elements, whatever we have declared in the Selenium automation. Suppose here this will wait for 15 seconds, and here this will also wait for what I'm just writing here, so that you get so I wrote this, we have to close. Okay, let it be now. This is perfect. So see here, it will wait here also, it will wait for 15 seconds. right? Means altogether throughout web page it will apply this waiting time. And also here, even here, it will try to wait for 15 seconds. So I hope this is clear. So overall, before this automation is applied to locate these web elements, your automation waits for, hold on for how many minutes, friends? It will implicitly wait for 15 seconds. Right now, run this now, run this automation. And this will work only when you have some issues in the automation. Suppose assume that here this is the one. This is the web element which locates this search box. I gave this some I am not locating it properly. And still your automation will wait for 15 seconds to locate this, assuming that it will give 15 seconds time to load these web elements into that web page properly. But of course, still even after loading, this will raise no such element exception as we are passing. What is this? This is not there. We are passing something, attribute which doesn't exist. That's why this will obviously raise no such element exception by even after this implicit wait period. I hope this is clear, friends. So right click on this and then say run as. I'm trying to be more specific, I know, because this is a little what I understand is uh, we need to be clear on this. Otherwise, it might confuse us. So I don't want any confusion for us, friends. So I'm taking time and trying to be emphasizing on these things again and again. Now our automation started here, but you don't see anything big difference from your regular this thing to our this automation. But only thing is we just applied wait time. That's all. That 15 seconds. Within that 15 seconds, what is this? It will give us that time period to locate. I mean, this load this all these web elements here. These are all web elements. The search box, this search button, all this menus and all this logins, all this. Now you can see it's still waiting. It didn't enter that mouse related search here. As we know, we asked it to enter that mouse search. It's still in the waiting stage, implicit wait now. Our 15 seconds plus again we put some sleep for five more seconds. 15 plus 5, 20 seconds. It will be in waiting period now. I hope this is clear. That point is clear for you. Maybe if you ask me how many seconds this is going to wait, one is that 15 seconds what we applied in our automation, that waiting time, waiting this thing in the waiting method. And second thing, another few more seconds where we applied in sleep method. We have to add all those. That is the waiting period on this particular automation. I hope that is clear. That statement is clear, right? So it will come definitely. And of course, sorry, this time it won't work, right? Why? Already there should be an exception here. Why no such element exception? Why this exception? Because we try to pass something, an attribute that doesn't exist. So this locating strategy obviously will fail as we are passing an attribute that doesn't exist, and this cannot locate your web element. So remove this and run the automation, then it will go fine. So that box one you remove and run the automation, friends. Run this. So I was just assuming that it will go fine. Just ignored this, forgot this change. Now it will work fine. Let's rerun the automation. I believe this time, yeah. Now you can see. Oh, our automation just started now. See, It waited 15 seconds before this website is triggered. See here, friends. Means it had applied that implicit waits on our website. Now what happens? Let us see. It has to pass mouse in that. You can see now it entered mouse. You can see the automation happening, and then it will click on that search button. Now you can see all different mouses that are there here are shown. Now we are asking to again list out all those mouses and get us the last mouse image, details of last mouse image. Now definitely that will happen again after few seconds here now. You can see now. Now again it is moving to the next page because it is getting us trying to locate that last mouse image here. You can see here, this is the last mouse image, right? So this is the automation that we have applied. Again, now after finally it will close, automatically quit this automation. No problem, right? You can see here we are applying sleep for 10 seconds. After 10 seconds, this automation gets closed. So nothing to worry about it. So we can close this previous automations which we didn't close. Okay, so this is the idea. I hope you got an idea here, right, friends? So before this website is called, you can see this implicit wait has waited for 15 seconds to get this website loaded. Do you observe that, friends? Do you want me to run again? Instead of 15 seconds, let me change this wait period to 5 seconds and run this. After triggering this, you can see now, you can observe it very clearly. Now see this now. This is a so simple topic. Altogether, it's just a 15 to 20 minutes topic, friends. But I'm taking time and trying to make it so you can see there. It just waited for 5 seconds before this website got triggered. Our website is called. You can see here, friends. After that, it is going with the automation now. It is trying to search for mouse and search on that, and then it will try to get all those mouses and then try to get details of last mouse image. Once after that, that last mouse image details are displayed, it will automatically quit the automation after 10 seconds. Yeah, you can see now. So it has now moved to the, it try to find out all the mouses detail, all the mouse details, and then going to the last mouse thing. It's done. Now the automation is completed. And you can see here, this is closed now. That's it, friends. So now what do we do? This is about implicit weights. Then explicit weights means something we apply to a specific web element here. See here, this is how we apply explicit weight. This is so simple again. You can see we use this class called WebDriver weight. And to this driver, same thing. So here in this implicit weight, what did we do, friends? Yes, Shankar, this is a good question. Again, but here that refresh concept, I believe we can also apply refresh thing in our code that we can call refresh methods as well. What code and where that can be put on the script. To refresh your code, I don't think we apply refresh code, but we apply refresh that browser. For refreshing browser, I believe we have a method refresh itself, something like that to do that. We can check it, not a problem, Shankar. Okay, so uh, I was talking about explicit weights. I hope you are familiar with implicit weights, right? It is almost same like this. Explicit weights means something which you apply to a specific web element. Now, instead of applying this weight for all the web pages, suppose, of course, we have five seconds applied, implicit waiting period for all the web elements to get loaded. That is fine. Leave it like that. Now you are applying an explicit wait for this particular web element alone. You can see to apply this explicit web element, sorry, explicit wait to some web element, right? Then we are just creating this. How do we apply that? First, we use this class called WebDriver wait, and we should create an object for that. Object creation, you are familiar. We had discussed our core Java, core Java sessions. So if you know the class name, we can simply create an object like this, something that class name reference equal new class name. And for that, by default, we should pass two parameters. The first one is the driver one, and second one is the duration of waiting. To get duration, what is it? We use this duration class and then apply this methods of seconds, and then you can pass for how much time you should wait on this particular web element. So this statement is something which is applied for what, friends? To implement this explicit waiting on your Selenium automation. And then what is it? Here you can see on this again on this uh, reference of this WebDriver wait. You are applying this condition here. You can see here once this explicit wait object is created with some time, for how much hour time you want to do this waiting on this web element, then what do? We apply a condition on this object. How do you apply that reference of that object? You can see here wait, and then there is an until method in this driver in this class, in this wait class, WebDriver wait class. So we are asking WebDriver to wait until this web element is loaded properly, right? So here, that's what we are applying a condition here. Till what time your driver should wait? We are clearly saying we are asking WebDriver to wait for 15 seconds. And this is the condition for the WebDriver. Wait dot until expected conditions. What is the condition we are trying to provide to WebDriver? Here, expected conditions dot elements to be clickable. When this clickable option should be visible, when this it is, we are asking here this expected conditions, it will work on multiple things, friends. You can see here when we say expected conditions dot, you can see this there are multiple methods which we apply on this, and most frequent methods we apply in your Selenium automation is one is visible. So this visibility of, so until this visible, when these web elements are visible, you are asking this automation to wait. So that is one thing which is a popular, which are popular methods we apply on automation. And second thing is again unclickable things. Suppose if you want to do some click operation, if you want to do some search, or if you want to do some other kind of, if you want to click on some button, and again you are asking, applying a condition elements to be clickable. You are asking until this is located, this is loaded. We are asking, you are applying a wait this thing here, waiting time for this on this web element. You can see here on which web element we are applying. We are applying on the search button here in this website. If you see here on the search button, we are applying a wait until this is loaded, and then we are and this search is clickable, right? We are asking this web page to wait, or this automation to wait until this search this click button is visible. So that's what we are saying. It's when you look at this, you can easily understand. Wait until expected conditions. This particular waiting is applied on this particular, on this, which one, friends? On this particular web element. Which web element? This web element is applied on search button. What is that search button in your website? This is the search button on this this search button in the web page. On this, you are explicitly applying wait period, wait time, right? So until this becomes clickable, you are asking your Selenium automation to wait. So, and we are explicitly applying this automation only for this particular web element, not for the entire, for all the web elements. For all of the web elements, if you want to apply any waiting time, then you can go for implicit waits. But if you want to apply something specific to your only some specific web element, then you have to apply explicit waits. That's what we are doing here. You can see here now. Now we just for that explicit waits, you should create this WebDriver wait object and pass that wait period here in the form of seconds, and then we should apply a condition wait until expected conditions is what element to be clickable. That element, whatever you want to wait for, that is to be a clickable element until this is appeared, right? Until this is loaded, you are asking your automation to wait. That's what the meaning of this, right? And this is a clickable element. You are asking your automation to wait until this clickable element is present, is appeared in the automation in that web page. And you are again applying a locating strategy here. You can see which locating strategy. This strategy is something for your identifying that particular search button. You can see here search button, search submit button. So this is explicit wait, friends. That's all. This is simple idea. This is how we apply explicit wait. And this particular wait time is applied only specific to this particular web element. What web element? To this search button web element, right? So that's it, friends. And after that, what happens? Once after this wait is applied on this particular web element, which is search button, now again we are just trying to apply. What is it? We are trying to apply click option on this. This again gets that search button thing. This is just only, we are not doing any clicking here. We are just applying a waiting time on this particular web element. That's all. And after that, after waiting for 15 seconds here and plus 5 seconds in the beginning, 5 plus 15, how many? 20 seconds. After waiting for 20 seconds, then this automation is applied. It will try to locate again this search button, and then on that search button, you can see this on this search button. We can see here web element dot click. You can see here we are applying a click option. A click operation means search operation action. You know, right? We have already discussed about action classes, and we are passing this particular reference of this web element to the action class. Action class performs click operation, which is nothing but a search operation, and automatically it will try to search for this whatever the text you are passing here. That is the mouse thing here. So automatically it will try to show us all the available mouse items in the Amazon website. So, and we are just doing a simple assertion. If this whatever you are entering into that text box should be mouse. If you just change this, it will throw an assert error. Okay, so that's why we apply this, so that it properly handles our automation. So that's about this, friends, about explicit wait. Are you clear now? I'm just trying to summarize this. To apply explicit wait, what we do, this is something which is applied to a specific web element, not to all web elements in the web page. That is point one. Second thing, to apply this, we use a class called WebDriver wait to implement this explicit wait. So this one, and here it is a dynamic way of waiting. What is that? What is it here? What is dynamic way here? This is something applied to a specific web element, and it is implemented with specific conditions. That just now we have seen. What are those conditions? So we have this something called expected conditions here. What is it? So maybe if you want to quickly right click and then open declaration, you can see here what is it. This is actually a class again. You can see public class. So to apply, to impose any conditions on your this thing web element for to wait for some time, what we do, this class expected conditions is used to impose conditions here. The condition we are applying is this waiting time is just wait for this elements to be clickable, and the pattern that helps us to locate that web element, right? And this particular code is not doing any operation, just applying a explicit wait time on this particular web element. And the other part of code, this is what actually doing the this click operation, I mean the search operation. I hope this is clear. So this is idea about explicit wait and implicit wait. Let's run this automation once. Of course, you don't see big difference, but only thing is you can see that your automation waits for 5 seconds in the beginning before this website gets loaded, and after that it comes till this without any waiting thing. Apart from that, implicit waits 5 seconds. When it comes to this particular web element, it will wait for 15 more seconds because that is what we applied on this specific element. And then after waiting for 15 seconds, it will try to apply this search operation and try to get all that, list out all the mouse items. That's what happens here. Now run this now. Run as Java application. And then, okay, I know I am taking time to explain this. So because this is something which I see there is a confusion for, so not to get confused. So I'm trying to make sure. So let's get into this one. Auto. You can see it wait for 5 seconds, friends. Now, by now it should start automation. I don't see any automation got triggered so far. Now you can see this automation got triggered now. It opened the browser. Automation started. 5 seconds. Implicit wait is over now. It came to the web page. Now it should pass that mouse into that. After passing, I believe it should wait for 15 more seconds because we have applied explicit wait. Right. And then now it has to search for all the mouse items present in this thing. And now what it does, how much wait period we put here? We put 2 seconds for this. Okay, by now it should have been, no, still it's been waiting to trigger that mouse thing. It will trigger because it takes, we have applied some sleep methods here. It's 2 seconds, almost 10 seconds we have applied before this particular code gets processed. Okay. So anyhow, this we are familiar with that opening the last most thing. Now let's move to the switch to the next topic. What is it, friends? The next topic is this one. The topic is again fluent wait is one more, and then what is it, friends? This one find elements thing. Maybe that we cover in tomorrow's session, no problem. And along with that, I'll try to come up with few more important differences. So far we had discussed about driver.quit. In tomorrow's session, we'll see driver.close method, difference between close and quit. And similarly, we try to see few examples how to do automation with not only with Chrome, but how to apply automation with Firefox and few other web browsers. And also, we will also see apart from get method, there is a navigate to method. The difference between get and navigate to, when should we choose navigate to and when should we choose get method. All these are very useful things for interviews again. That we will cover tomorrow apart from these scenarios. I know I took some time today because this wait concept is little deeper to understand. That's why I try to come up with a clear discussion on this thing so that it will sink into our understanding. That's why I try to explain and again and again so that that gives you a clear idea. Yeah, Shankar is trying to type something. So with this, we'll close today. I doubt performance testing is done with Selenium uh, because for performance, either we use JMeter or load runner, Shankar. But for I doubt we use this. This is more for web testing here. Selenium is more for an website testing. Even same question you gave. We have both question and answer, Shankar. So can we do performance testing with Selenium? We have load runner tool for such test. We have load runner or JMeter. We apply any one of these two. JMeter is open source, popular in many companies, and load runner is a licensed version. Very few companies try to opt for this load runner. Not very few companies which can manage that license everything can try to have this load runner. I hope this is clear. As far as I know, we don't use Selenium for performance testing. Okay, this is for web application testing and automating all the different web applications like websites, all that. That's it, Shankar. That is my this thing understanding. How is this weights concept today? Is that clear? Finally, what did you understand, friends? We have three different types of weights. Today we try to cover two different types of weights. What are those two weights? Implicit weights and explicit weights. So you know, right? What is how do you declare implicit weights? And how do you declare explicit weights? Can you quickly type in the chat box? Let's summarize today. I believe you are clear on this. What is the syntax to declare implicit weight, syntax to declare explicit weight? Maybe this is the code I forgot to share with you. Maybe today I'll try to load this sessions. I believe I have some time. So I have pasted the code in this snippet. Sorry, in this chat box. Right? You got clear, right? How to apply implicit and explicit weights. What statement we should use for implicit weight, what statement we should apply for explicit weight, all that, right, friends? Maybe if you just you can type in the chat box, friends.